We don't have a choice on whether we do social media, but the question is how well we do it. Whether you agree with this statement or not, if I were to sample this audience right now, nearly all, if not all of you, would have to admit that you have some form of social media. Whether that be Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Now, I know that you're all extremely popular with your hundreds of followers, but picture having thousands or even millions of those followers. Now, when you tweet out that hateful tweet just to spite the 3 girls in your English class who you just can't stand anymore, millions of people around the world are viewing that same tweet, and they're perhaps taking it the wrong way. When this happens, we as common men and women often forget that athletes have to deal with this every day. They are overanalyzed and over-scrutinized for this. At the beginning of the Twitter era of sports, athletes could not deal with this epidemic. However, as Twitter has become an integral part of sports, they have shifted to a place where they understand the dangers, and now where they're using it as a tool to deliver positive messages. In order to illustrate this, it would first be beneficial to offer the negative examples that occurred at first. In 2009, NFL running back Larry Johnson was 100 yards shy of breaking the Kansas City Chiefs' all-time rushing record. Then, he decided to use Twitter. First, he decided to bash his coach for inexperience, and then, after receiving hate from a fan for this, he called this fan a fag. As you can guess, he was cut. So close to the record. Such a shame. Next example is Super Bowl MVP Santonio Holmes. Santonio decided that it would be a good idea to tweet, "Time to wake and bake," which, if you're not familiar with that term, it means to wake up and smoke weed. Obviously not a good idea as a professional athlete, and as a result, cut. The next example is a very prominent example as it occurred on the world stage. Olympian triple jumper Vala Papi-Christo was on the Greece Olympic team. Then she decided that she was going to tweet, "With so many Africans in Greece, the mosquitoes from the West Nile will sure have some good homemade food." Obviously a very racial remark, even though she claims that she intended for it to be a funny remark. Regardless, she was dismissed from the team. Now, obviously these are very prominent examples of how athletes have misused their Twitter, and as a result, it has cost them everything. However, steps are now being taken in order to transition into a state where Twitter can be used as beneficial for athletes. This has been done through player advocacy and social media coaches. Players like defensive end J.J. Watt in the NFL are speaking out against this, starting with young athletes by going to local high schools and saying to read your tweets over 95 times before posting them. This is the only way in which you'll be sure that you want to post what you want to post. Additionally, social media coaches have been invented. This is basically a position of coaches that will advise players on what to tweet, what not to tweet, and also they'll monitor their accounts, and if they post something that is disgraceful, advise them to take it down. Obviously, these are changing the spectrum on Twitter in sports. Instead of a negative connotation, it's taking on a positive one, and this has led to some positive examples. Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson recently teamed up with Make-A-Wish in 2013. After the fact of granting this young boy named Braden's wish, he decided to send out a positive tweet saying, "Thank you, Make-A-Wish, for setting me up with this chance to spend a day with such a great young man." This actually made the kid's day, and this was one of the best parts that he said. This was obviously a very good thing for the quarterback. Another example is more recently with NFL running back DeAngelo Williams. DeAngelo is a big supporter of the fight against breast cancer, and he actually created shirts that said "Pittsburgh is stronger than cancer." Taking to Twitter, he posted pictures like this and actually raised $15,000 for his local foundation. Very good thing. Now, overall, athletes have been able to take advantage of the Twitter era. They are no longer tweeting out disgraceful tweets, they're tweeting out positive messages with positive connotations. The lone fact left is that Twitter has now become an integral part of sports, and has been and will continue to be for a long time. Whether you hate this fact or not is up to you. However, if athletes can take advantage of this situation and they do it well, they can create immense differences.